Many of you guys getting that holiday money out here and you're like, ooh, pre-sales, where can we go make the best here and have some success? Well, Big 3 actually sold out of the Albaz structure decks, but for those of you that are interested in maybe treating yourself, you want some Ghosts from the Past, $80. Use MCOL40, a discount code, and you will save even more. The Ecclesia bundle here for the binder and all this stuff, this actually isn't bad for $40. Alright, they have the GX Speed Duel bundles, $30. Alright. Poor Albaz structure deck being gone. They also have the Legendary Duelist as well for you guys, and I'm pretty sure Dimension Force will be swinging on in here in the near future as well, so keep an eye on that. But as I said, guys, use code MCOL40 and you'll save. Let's go have our special Christmas Eve market watch, shall we? MCOL40. Make sure you smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Things you're going to want to keep an eye for or on as we go into 2022 here. Starlight Snells. Now, for something that's a one-of, if you opt to play it, you're sitting at $88, $89. These very cheap. You have so many versions of these available to you right now that it's absolutely hilarious. All right, we are getting Journey here in the near future. $17 on the Ultra M pens. You know, secrets are $10. Looking at this deck, it's not bad. Like if you don't want to play Starlight, you're like, you know, too pricey for me. That's fine. Dollar copies of these are available to you. You have plenty of availability and things out there that are those cheap alternatives to look for, and that's the best part about the market, ladies and gentlemen. Your extra deck can come up in this deck, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, Snells, probably the one thing for the Starlight I would keep an eye on. Next up here is the question of the year. Do I play the 1, 2, or 0 Incredible Ecclesia in the Aluber Turbo / Albaz branded fusion deck? The answer is 0, 1, or 2 seems to be the best way to go about it. I know that's a very vague answer. I'm currently playing 0. I've seen some builds out here that have had success playing, yes, ladies and gentlemen, 1. Alright, I've also seen builds out here that are playing 2. It just really depends on your taste in cards. So keep an eye on these. It is not at this moment in time slated for a reprint at the moment. That's definitely something that's kind of sad, but you're looking at $55 for something in the future with structure decks that'll end up being, you know, 0, 1 to 2 of. Alright, next up here is Fallen of Albaz. If you're one of those people, it's like, no, I only want to play the secret rare Albaz. We all have that one friend out there that's like, no, I don't want to play the Ultras. Alright, well, I'm sorry that these dollar Ultras are just so disgusting in value. Alright, that you just can't afford them. I want my bricks to be nice and shiny. And if you want nice shiny bricks, you're fighting with the very few 13 listings available on these. They're still hovering about $28. It's not amazingly horrible, but once again, it's not good. Alright. Next up here, Alber. Now, Mr. Aluber has actually calmed down quite a lot since the initial jump here. Like I said, considering the fact that pretty much every OCG deck right now is messing around with branded fusion to some capacity, and, you know, your Stratos in the deck literally says, oh, normal or special, you know, search for this, and then he also has a spell card that ends up summoning him in defense mode for a discard 1. You know, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? You know, $200 for a playset of these might not look inviting now, but in the near future here, once those structure decks touch down, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this deck is just this amazing powerhouse here. You know, once again, keep an eye on this as we head on into 2022 here, because this will be the star, at least in the first half of the year. Speaking of branded cards, I've been keeping an eye on Albion, still $14. Branded openings, these are basically $250. This is your spell card that just makes the world go round for the deck for literally a discard 1. And it's on resolution, by the way. It's not a cost. That's something else too. The other one you're going to want to keep an eye on is branded in red, because you get to add back one of those monsters from your graveyard, and then immediately you can apply the effect to Fusion Summon. Fusion Summon is 100% optional. If not, this is just a free add back from the graveyard to hand as resource, and then your opponent's going to stare at you and go, oh, like, what am I supposed to do about this? And then you get to roll out the Guardian Chimera, which we'll be getting in Battle of Chaos here. It's going to be a silent sleeper card. I can't wait for that one. Next up here is the Phantom Knight package. Now remember, with Brave on the horizon here, a lot of people have got to ask the question of, Oh, do I want nice torn scales? I don't think you want to go down this paradigm, considering, like, I see a lot of 250 copies, 270 here. I see we have a French copy here. Looks very nice for 265. The regular copies do the same thing. All right, got some nice silent boots here at 15 bucks, $14 on the regular torn scales. You know, like you can get some nicer rarity cards for this deck and enjoy it. $3 OTS, Ragged Gloves. Well, unfortunately, Shade Brigadines are still $8. Ancient Cloak Ultras, $5.50 from Wing Raiders. $6 for the old Wing Raiders swords. Okay, no real surprise there. Legendary Common Swords are $4. Wow. Wow, 450s. Okay, and then you got basically $4 copies of Torn Scales down here. So I'm seeing the same thing I've been seeing here. The deck is completely budget, as much as you can really be budget at this point in time. But the big main thing that I want to point out with this is it's still cheap. All right, I don't think anything back here is going to spike up too high to be like unaffordable, unlike Aluber here, where once again we have that 4-month window where you can be like, oh, I can get ahead of this and be fine. Next up here is Ultimate Super Poly. Now, this is another one of those questions you need to ask yourself in terms of the deck build department. Do I want to play Super Poly in my Albaz Turbo deck? The answer is I'm currently not playing Super Poly. It's an interesting application of things that you can do, but you're looking at $105, $106 per copy of Ultimate Super Poly. Of course, we've all seen down here that all the other versions all have all different price tags. $350 for the premium golds. Availability is very much here for Super Poly, so you're not going to be complaining. If you can't get the LT, that's fine. Other interesting cards that have maintained a presence, at least possibly going forward here, especially with Scythe Dagda. Unfortunately, we've all seen Cosmic Cyclone be on the table here. Alright, I love the fact that you're locked behind this $167 price tag. You know, you can still get some decently cheap quantities here, but you're still looking at very expensive points for those higher rarity cards. And then, of course, $12. The Megatin version's $8. Speed Duel box sets, $8. They're not uninviting, that's for sure. Solemn Judgments, we typically see this be a side deck card right now. It's not a fantastic side deck card, but it does show up in both the OCG and the TCG. 131, 133, 140, 142. It's not bad, ladies and gentlemen, but the point of this is these are cards that you want to keep an eye on here for possible future applications as we head on into 2022. And right now, Judgment's not horrible. Ultimate Infinite Permanence. Wow. You know, this doesn't surprise me in the very least to see that these are still maintaining the $240 price point. The good news is we have calmed down quite a lot off of that 245, 250, 260 mark here. At least they are spinning down, at least people trying to get some quick sales here on this. If you're somebody who's been holding back, you're like, I don't know if I want to go after imperms. It's a lot more inviting now when it's got a $240 price point than the $300 that you had here. I still can't believe that these were tipping over that point. That's so ridiculous. The Soldier of Chaos is under 100 now, and the Utopias are under 30. Wow, how the mighty have fallen for a set. And then, of course, the biggest Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, the staple of hand traps as we head forward here. I love $80 down here at the bottom of page 1. That always feels real good to see. 88, we're already hitting $100. Man, 105. Look at that, 110 back here. Ash Blossom still remains absolutely at the top of its weight class as one of the most absurd cards in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you, hand traps, for just existing. Speaking of things to pick up, token collectors. How long will Sword Soul be meta relevant? It's really the question here, but I see here that you've got, oh, cool, you can get Italian copies for $8. Other Italians for $8. Man, a lot of Italian copies here. 27 of these. Huh, well, I guess your token collector is about to be Spanish, or excuse me, Italian, because that's absolutely affordable versus these $3 to $4 common versions across the board. All right, yay, side deck choices. D-Shifter, another one of those cards you're going to want to keep an eye on. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait to watch Sword Soul possibly evolve to adapt to play this, just because when the Brave Phantom Knight deck comes out pre-branded, you're going to want this card just to make sure you can get the game back to your turn. And then last but not least, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your market for this point in time. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. There's a lot of stuff to keep an eye on here for the year 2022, but at least you know somewhat of an idea where we should be heading here in the near future. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later on today with some more cool ass content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.